Welcome to 60 Skills. Today we are going to talk about the 4 things you need to know how to do to learn any meditative, yogic, or magical system. The 4 things are, in this order: 1, know how to concentrate; 2, be able to touch or sense or manipulate subtle energy; 3, be able to work with the soft tissue in your body in terms of creating an electric or magnetic line of force, what some people call yin and yang. And 4, being able to get rid of things. So let's talk a little bit about why this is. The first item, being able to concentrate, shouldn't need much explanation, but surprisingly does. The reality is most people do not know how to concentrate. Usually when people are trained to do this, it includes little more than a reminder to pay attention. This is not terribly helpful in terms of learning how to actually concentrate. So learning how to concentrate is actually a 4-part process. First, you have to learn how to watch your thoughts. Why do I need to learn how to watch my thoughts? Well, it turns out most people have picked up a variety of, for lack of a better word, trash in their subconscious. And this is talking to them all the time. It's very distracting, and in fact, it makes it hard to, you got it, pay attention. So first you need to learn how to watch your thoughts. Surprisingly, after a relatively short period of time, and some people as little as a couple of days, those background thoughts and all the chatter that comes with it just, well, stops. Next, once the background thoughts have stopped, now you actually begin the process of learning how to pay attention. This again is relatively simple. It basically consists of taking a single object and staring at it and not letting anything enter your mind. Again, that whole clearing out of thoughts part now becomes a little more evident, interrupting your ability to look at that one thing. Now, after this, we get to the trickier part, which is where you pay attention to nothing. Literally, in this case, what you're doing is you're taking care of yourself by creating emptiness. And this emptiness is just that. You close your eyes, you stare off into space, and you look at nothing. Again, waiting for those background thoughts to creep up and interfere with your concentration. Now, finally after that, there is a 4th step that rarely gets used that's called merge into light. And this by itself is a enlightenment level technique. Those of you familiar with Ati yoga from Tibetan yoga systems will already be familiar with this. This consists of a practitioner creating a ball of light in front of them and pushing their consciousness into it. Again, quite interesting. All right, so we've talked about the first thing, learning how to concentrate. Now we're going to talk about the second thing, which is being able to touch, sense, or otherwise manipulate subtle energy. The reason why you want to do this is people know a lot about things like clairvoyance, subtle sense of sight, or even clairaudience, subtle sense of sound. There's also clairgustinance, which is a subtle sense of taste and smell. But your sense of touch in many ways doesn't exist without its subtle component. So learning how to touch subtle energy is the quickest way to unlock your ability to work esoterically with other energies and other things. Now, most of the better systems have an exercise like building the chi ball, where you create a ball of subtle energy in front of you and learn how to manipulate it. Now, this is not a power building exercise. What it is it's a sense training exercise. And this is important because once you realize that subtle energy exists, this also defeats internal cognitive dissonance that prevents you with dealing with the other subtle senses such as clairvoyance and clairaudience. So with building the ball type exercises, what we're essentially working on is our clairsentience. Next, there is the third thing you want to be able to do, and that is to work with the ligaments and tendons in your body. Now, doing this involves a strange form of, for lack of a better word, stretching done in tension. Now, this is easier shown than described, but basically what you do is you push all of the joints open and you hold it. And at this point, it creates a kind of electric sensation in the body, or a pushing sensation. This is what is classically referred to as the electric force, or yang, in the more Asian systems. Then you learn how to work with yin, or the magnetic and contracting force. And this is done by pulling the joints open, as if somebody were grabbing a hold of your hand and pulling the joint of your wrist open. Doing this does a bunch of things. One, it greatly enhances the ligaments and tendons in the body by making them stronger. Two, it results in an odd kind of strength throughout the entire body by learning how to work with some of these smaller muscle groups that, for the most part, just function subconsciously. Three, and this is where it starts to get important, this teaches your body how to split the different subtle energies. For example, fire is very projective, water is very contracting, so on and so on and so on. Now, at this point, you know how to concentrate. You can sense subtle energy. You can open and close the joints properly, and this allows you to work with these energies on a much more physical basis. So we get to item number 4, learning how to get rid of stuff. See, in the process of training how to focus your mind and touch subtle energy and open and close the joints to increase your ability to do all of those things, your body is going to generate a lot of trash. And being able to get rid of that and actually relax is really important. Now, in a lot of schools, these are referred to as the releasing techniques. These are sometimes referred to as the esoteric Buddhist techniques of letting go. But in any event, what it is it's kind of an opposite of learning how to focus. It's learning how to let go and relax. This in turn allows you to get rid of large amounts of esoteric phenomena. It also allows you to get rid of things that have been holding you back your entire life. And this can be applied to everything from having a panic attack to dealing with concepts that are no longer helpful to you, like believing you're poor and you should always be poor because everyone in your family was always poor. So if you can do these 4 things, focus your mind, pay attention, touch subtle energy, open and close your joints, and get rid of things you don't need, you can literally figure out everything else in the meditative, yogic, and magical world. Those are the 4 basic things. If you can't do all 4 of those things, it's still possible to learn how to do some of this stuff, but it tends to be much more difficult because one of those 4 things is generally going to be holding you back. If you can't work with the soft tissue in your body, you're literally doing most of this at a mental level. Okay, if you can't touch energy, you can't work with things at an astral level. If you don't know how to get rid of stuff, when you run into trouble and something weird happens, you're going to be scared and you're not going to want to do it the next time. And if you simply can't pay attention, well, I can't really help you then at all. So if you enjoyed the topic of today's lecture, please give us a like and hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to learn more about the 60 Skills curriculum, check out the links contained in the details portion of the video down below. Otherwise, train hard and be well.